In 1967, marine archaeologist Nicholas Fleming was studying coastal geology near southern Greece when he spotted something unusual beneath the shallow waters near Pavlopetri. 12 feet below the surface, he saw patterns of stones laid too precisely to be natural. They looked like traces of an ancient city long lost to time. What he found would spark decades of debate among historians, scientists, and believers of ancient legends, because some began to wonder if this forgotten city beneath the sea was more than just archaeology. In this story, we explore the mystery behind Pavlopetri, and the question that still haunts the world: could it be a myth or a memory of a real place? The mysterious discovery. After several dives, Fleming confirmed that the formation stretched across thousands of square meters. The site showed clear signs of planned construction. Streets, open spaces, and structures seemed to fit together like parts of a small town. He collected samples and measurements to compare them with known Bronze Age remains. Everything pointed toward human origin. This was not a random underwater landscape, but a forgotten settlement lost to time. What Fleming did not know then was that Pavlopetri would soon challenge long-held ideas about how early humans built and lived. And soon, many began asking whether this lost city could have any link to the most famous sunken city in history, Atlantis. The return expedition. A few months later, Fleming returned with a research team from the University of Cambridge. They brought diving gear, measuring tools, and cameras to document what lay below the waves. Their exploration confirmed the earlier observations. Walls, foundations, and clearly visible pathways formed a grid-like structure. They even found pottery fragments, tools, and stone vessels scattered around the sea. The team estimated that the site had once been a coastal town that slipped underwater around 1000 BCE. They named it Pavlopetri, meaning Paul's Stone. Soon it was recognized as the world's oldest known underwater city. The discovery sent shockwaves through archaeology. If a city like this could survive underwater for thousands of years, could other legends about lost civilizations have real origins too? The questions begin. The findings raised difficult questions. Who lived in Pavlopetri? How big was the city? And what exactly caused it to sink? Was it a sudden catastrophe, or a slow process of rising sea levels? And most importantly, was it unique or part of a broader network of coastal civilizations? Plato's writings about Atlantis described a powerful maritime society that vanished beneath the sea after a disaster. The similarities were impossible to ignore. Pavlopetri was advanced, coastal, and suddenly destroyed. Some researchers believed the timing did not match Plato's description. Others argued that myths often preserve fragments of truth from different eras. The question remained open, and curiosity grew even stronger. The modern investigation. By the early 2000s, new technology allowed researchers to return with better tools. Dr. John Henderson from the University of Nottingham led a modern investigation. His goal was to study Pavlopetri without disturbing it physically. Using advanced sonar scanners and digital mapping systems, his team created a complete 3D reconstruction of the city beneath the water. The results were remarkable. They found traces of everyday life, pottery, grinding stones, and remains of workshops. Some tools were used for weaving and metalwork. They also discovered about 50 graves, confirming that Pavlopetri had been inhabited for many generations. It was not a small trading post, but a thriving city that supported thousands of people. The 3D revelation. The 3D scans revealed that the city was planned with precision. There were streets, courtyards, storage areas, and larger public structures near the center. At least 15 separate buildings were mapped, all connected by pathways that showed deliberate urban design. The center appeared to include an administrative complex and a possible market area. Carbon dating of pottery and organic material placed the city's active period around 2800 BCE, deep in the early Bronze Age. That made Pavlopetri at least 5,000 years old. Archaeologists estimated its population to be close to 5,000 people. For that time, it was a remarkable level of urban development. The city had planned spaces and possibly even systems for managing water and trade. This discovery proved that organized cities existed much earlier than once believed. Life in the Bronze Age. During the Bronze Age, human society was changing rapidly. Communities began forming around trade and craft rather than just farming. Pavlopetri represented this new stage of civilization. Studies showed that its people were skilled builders and traders. They used stone and clay to create durable homes and storage areas. Narrow streets connected neighborhoods, showing early forms of city zoning. There were also signs of craft specialization. Pottery styles found at the site matched other regions of Greece and Crete, showing trade connections across the Aegean. Pavlopetri became a time capsule of life in one of the earliest organized societies. It gave researchers insight into how humans built cities before written history even began. The secret of their success. The city's location was no accident. It sat right along ancient maritime routes that connected Europe, Africa, and Asia. Its position made it ideal for commerce and cultural exchange. Archaeologists discovered hundreds of small stones known as loom weights. These were used in weaving, proving that textile production was a major industry. That meant Pavlopetri was not just a fishing village, but a manufacturing and trading hub. The city likely exported fabrics, pottery, and metal goods across the Mediterranean. Its wealth came from trade, and its people benefited from connections to distant lands. Dr. Henderson described it as the underwater factory city, a place where business, art, and innovation emerged long before industrialization existed. It was proof that even in ancient times, economic strategy and location could define the success of a civilization. The sudden destruction. Then, everything stopped. Excavations revealed no signs of evacuation or slow decline. Homes were still filled with artifacts, as if life ended abruptly. Geologists studying the area found evidence of major seismic activity. Earthquakes and tsunamis were common in the Aegean region. It is likely that one such disaster struck Pavlopetri without warning. A massive wave could have submerged the coast within hours, pulling the entire settlement underwater. As the shoreline shifted, the city disappeared beneath layers of sand and silt. Generations later, new villages formed elsewhere, and the memory of Pavlopetri faded completely. It remained silent for thousands of years, perfectly preserved, until its rediscovery in the 20th century. The Atlantis connection. Plato's story of Atlantis has been retold for over 2,000 years. He described a powerful city that fell out of favor with the gods and was destroyed by floods. For centuries, people have searched for it in the Atlantic, the Mediterranean, and even Antarctica. When Pavlopetri was discovered, many noticed how closely it matched parts of that story. It was advanced for its time. It was a maritime culture, and it was destroyed by the sea. But the timeline does not align exactly with Plato's tale. Pavlopetri existed around 2800 BCE, while Plato dated Atlantis to thousands of years earlier. Even so, many historians believe the Atlantis legend could have drawn inspiration from several real events. Ancient floods, tsunamis, and lost coastal cities might have combined into one enduring myth. If that theory is true, Pavlopetri could be one of the many real memories behind the Atlantis story, one of several civilizations erased by water, yet remembered through legend. For over 5,000 years, the sea has protected the ruins of Pavlopetri. It reminds us that even advanced societies can disappear in a single moment. History is full of such reminders, written not in books, but buried under oceans. Maybe Atlantis was never just one place. Maybe it was a message about human ambition and fragility. Every great civilization believes it will last forever, but nature often decides otherwise. Pavlopetri stands as proof that myths are sometimes memories, and that our planet still holds secrets waiting to be rediscovered. If you enjoy exploring mysteries hidden in history, subscribe now, because the past still whispers stories we have yet to hear.